Run, river, run, run through the hills. Run, river, run to the sea. Run, river, run to your place beneath the sun. Run, river, run over me.
Hi, this is Jan Lewis. Welcome to be my guest today. We have from Easton, Massachusetts. We have another author whom I met. Welcome, Paula Norton, and she goes by alias P.K. Norton as her author name. And I met her at the wonderful Rhode Island the Writers Expo, which was huge. And that's why we've had quite a tsunami of authors on, because once I go in there and they find out that they're be welcome on the show, I get all these business cards and I get all this stuff. So if you're looking like, how come, it's because of that wonderful expo. Now, Paula is a mystery writer, and she has written, oh God, well, now it's 4 books in the Amy Lynch investigation series.
Yes.
Dead Drop, Sweet Dreams, Deep Secrets, and Sweet Death.
No, Sweet Dreams, Sweet Death is one.
Sweet Dreams and Sweet Death are the same one?
Yes.
Okay. Alrighty. Now, these are there. Which was the first one?
The first one that I wrote was Dead Drop, but Sweet Dreams, Sweet Death was the first that got published.
Okay, this is the first one. What was this one basically about?
People dying from poisoned key lime coconut petit fours at a wedding reception
Lovely.
in Key West.
Don't go to another wedding reception.
My husband and I used to spend a lot of time in Key West.
In Key West. By the way, on her bio, you have traveled all over the United States and Europe.
Yeah.
That is fantastic.
I always had gypsy feet.
And you worked as an insurance agent, right?
Yes, and then I was an underwriter after that. Actually, for 10 years, I also taught high school French.
You speak French?
I do.
So do I.
I went to school in Paris.
Oh, well, I went to school in Wilbraham, Mass, and I took about 4 or 5 years of it, but we had great teachers. I can speak Parisian.
Now, Dead Drop takes place in Paris at an archaeological dig where I worked one summer.
An archaeological dig?
Yes.
Now, briefly, what's this one about?
A relic is found at the dig which could reveal a traitor from World War II.
That is cool. Where do you get your ideas?
I used to get them from my husband.
Really?
The day he convinced me to start writing, we were sitting on the patio of the Brotherhood of Thieves in Nantucket having cocktails.
Yeah.
And I was once again talking about him. I want to write a book. And he told me it was time to put my money where my mouth was.
How many years ago was that?
That was in 1993.
That's a while back.
Yeah, it took me a long time. But we started talking, and we invented Amy Lynch.
Yeah.
That was pretty easy. I named her after my dog.
I was going to say for your daughter. Oh, but no, your dog.
And then I said, well, I need a story. And he said, well, tell me 3 things you're interested in. And at the time, I said, well, I'm interested in Paris, in archaeology, and in spies.
Yes.
I used to be a card-carrying member of the Association of Former Intelligence Officers.
Yes, you were.
Don't ask me anymore, or I might have to kill you.
Oh, okay.
But I told him those 3 things, and he sat back and closed his eyes for a minute, and he gave me the germ of the plot.
The Amy Lynch investigation series, currently in the works, will consist of at least, which it does, the 4 books. And when she's not plotting and writing, Paula is, plotting and writing. She's a member of Sisters in Crime, the Cape Cod Writers Association, and where I met her, the Rhode Island Authors Association, big expo. I don't know if many other authors said anything, but boy, when an author there tells you they're overwhelmed. I was a visitor, and we did not stay as long, nothing to do with the people, but my God, I couldn't get to everybody.
It was crazy busy. It was fun.
It was, you walk in and it was enormous. I thought the one up in Danversport in July, a huge New England Expo, I thought that was humongous. This was even more, I think.
Rhode Island Authors Association is fabulous. They're very active. They're very good at promoting.
We know Peter, who owns, he published your book, Stillwater's Press. What's his last name?
Steve Porter.
Yeah, Steve
and
Porter.
his wife, Dawn.
Yeah, and he's a great guy. He's been on many times before. He's also an author.
Yes.
Yeah, he is. Now, here's the one we haven't described yet. It's brand new. She handed it to me today.
And that's only the unedited proof.
Well, that doesn't matter. I get to the meat of it. I don't care if it's edited or not. Deep Secrets.
Yes.
Now, this is a little guy swimming under. That's on Cape Cod. Tell us about that one.
It takes place at Woods Hole Oceanographic. And again, my husband, Jack, came up with this plot.
Yeah.
Well, it started, though, with, there used to be a fellow on Route 151 who sold roses out
Where's
of...
151?
It connects North Falmouth with Mashpee.
Okay.
He used to sell roses out of his old Woody station wagon.
Yeah.
And he was there for years. And I used to say to my mother, there's no way he makes a living doing that. Something else is going on.
Yeah.
So we built the story around him.
Yes.
And in the story, this is Jack's invention, Woods Hole Oceanographic is working on a top-secret government project developing the Swimmer Defense Module,
Yeah.
which is a device designed to detect and disable enemy swimmers trying to plant IEDs in a harbor.
Yeah. And you came up with that?
He had it all worked out. He had it diagrammed for me. And there's a dolphin on the picture because
dolphins.
this device works by echolocation, which is how dolphins find things.
Dead men tell no tales.
Yes.
Is that why Tom Griffin is lying near death in a Cape Cod hospital? Boy, I've been to the Cape Cod hospital. You got to read this. When is this going to come out for the rest of them?
August 1st.
Okay. Well,
It's going to be a little delayed because I'm hoping to get some reviews, and they
Okay.
want 4 months advance on reviews.
Well, because I always tell authors, never wait. Just get out there.
But if you want a review, yeah.
Get out there.
And they
you know,
do help.
you always get a review from the people who know you and from others who
Yeah.
maybe have seen you.
But it's not bad to have a Kirkus review
no,
either.
not too bad. I wouldn't wait though.
Yeah.
Because of what he could reveal about Wall Tower. Now, what was that?
The name of the project.
The project, a top secret government project underway at Woods Hole Oceanographic. Boy, is that a famous place?
Yeah.
Have you been there?
I worked in Woods Hole every summer through high school and college.
What'd you do?
I was a waitress.
A waitress?
I knew everybody in town. It was great fun.
And you've lived. Funny how we've lived different places on the Cape. Where were you?
Well, at that time, my family had a house in North Falmouth.
Yeah. Okay, so we were up further up Route 6.
Yeah.
What is it? Route 6? What's the one from Hyannis? 28?
28.
All
yeah.
right,
That's the one that takes forever.
especially in the summer, because I was in my 20s and, I was single and we would go to the dance at the different clubs, stuff like that. And at night it wasn't too bad. But
During the day.
Oh, I knew the
Absolutely.
back roads. Just get around like that. Dennisport is lovely.
It is.
Yeah.
I spend time now in Katuitt.
Now, is Katuitt on this end or the far end? This end,
It's
right?
on the west end of Hyannis.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have friends there that I visit quite a bit.
Now, you started writing how many years ago again?
Well, it was
93.
1993.
93.
And
Okay.
Sweet Dreams, Sweet Death came out in, it was 2-3 years ago.
And I had not heard, well, thank goodness I met you at the expo.
I was very busy in the interim. It really slowed life down quite a bit.
Yeah, definitely. Now, is others in your family, have they read your book?
Yes.
What do they think?
They were very nice about it. I guess they liked it. Yeah.
Yeah, let me, usually I ask this of all the authors. You got something coming up? Besides, this is coming out in August, but...
And then I am in the process of writing Direct Elimination, which is a fencing story.
Direct elimination?
Yeah, and that's a fencing term. My husband was a fencer.
Cool.
And it takes place in Dorchester.
These appeal to both men and women.
Yeah, in Dorchester there is a fire in this 6-family building, which my husband used to own. And when the firemen get down into the cellar, there's a dead body there, and it's a fencer, and he has been stabbed.
With the epee they use,
Oh,
right?
yeah. Yeah.
Wow, these are down, dirty, and gruesome. Your husband must be wonderful at, little ideas too, right?
He is unfortunately gone now, but...
Oh, so young.
Oh, he was older than I am.
Yeah.
But,
These days, though.
yeah.
If you-
Well, he was sick.
Yeah.
I think he still inspires me.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, definitely. So now you're in Easton, and let me see. Gosh, the two of you traveled all of the U.S. and Europe. But where was your favorite place in the U.S. to go?
Probably Key West.
Key West.
Although now I go to Delray Beach instead.
My aunt lived in Delray.
Yeah, my sister and I inherited a little place there.
Did Boca, and then she moved to Delray.
Delray is kind of like Key West on sedatives.
Oh,
It's a calmer version of Key West. It's
very,
fun.
a lot quieter and calmer.
Yeah, but it's still nice and
And
funky.
you like it. Do you get up here? Do you go down there during the winter sometimes, or do you? What do you?
I usually go in April.
You go in April when it's getting warm here.
Yeah.
That's a first.
Can I say?
Were you an empty nester?
Actually, I had no children.
Yeah, but you've got a dog or a door kitty?
Now, my dog is gone now.
Yep. And she was, I think Amy Lynch is named after your dog?
Amy was my dog's name. She didn't have a last name. Lynch was one of my great-grandmothers.
Okay, Lynch. Okay. That's, I think, an Irish name.
Yep,
Speaking
absolutely.
of, we have St. Pat's coming up on March 17th.
Yeah.
This is fascinating. I've wanted to do what you've done. The ancestral thing.
DNA.
Yeah, where you swab your mouth and send it.
Mm-hmm.
I would do it, except my husband brought up the point that this could be tricky business if the big brother type of thing gets in and gets your information.
And the police can use DNA databases like that to track down criminals years after the fact.
But those of us who do it generally aren't criminals.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a history, definitely don't.
How long did it take you once you did it and sent it?
I don't know. I just heard when she got her results.
Okay. She came out Irish, mostly Irish.
Almost 100% Irish.
And then some Scot.
Yeah, Irish and Scotch is basically
And then
the same thing.
Viking.
A trace of Viking.
Viking. Was it in her history at all? Did her
No.
grandparents tell her?
No, but if you're Irish, you've got Viking in you.
And I'm Scottish. A lot of Scottish, Welsh,
Yeah.
French in me, and German. That might be Viking.
I mean, the Vikings founded the city of Dublin.
Okay. All right. Well, Scotland and Ireland are neighbors. They're
Yeah,
kissing
and
cousins.
it's basically the same race.
They are. They're very much. You never know who intermarried way back when. You really don't. Were you
Absolutely.
from this area originally?
I grew up in Abington.
Okay, Abington. We were just talking about that. Mom grew up in Rockland, so you got.
Oh, they were our big enemy.
They were? Oh,
Yep.
football. Oh. I think Mom, she graduated in 1939 from Rockland High.
Uh-huh.
Aha. And we've been down there. Now, again, we are talking with Paula Norton. Her name.
I want to tell you one thing about Dead Drop, because
What?
this fascinates
Uh-huh.
me. I lived in Paris in a boarding house, and the character Marie Dupre in Dead Drop is based on the woman who was my landlady, who had been in the French Resistance. She used to take the train to Free France and smuggle forged passports back to Paris.
Yeah.
And the Nazis captured her and broke all of her fingers. And I used her as a character, and it was fun. It was like I could honor this woman
Yes.
who'd done something so brave.
Paula, how can they get a hold of your books?
I am on Amazon. The best way to find me on Amazon is to type Amy Lynch, I have discovered. I'm at Paperback Junction Bookstore in Easton, and I am at Stillwater Books in Pawtucket, Rhode Island.
Great shout out to Pawtucket, the books, Stillwater Books, because he's a good guy.
He's a wonderful guy.
He's terrific. Good shout out to you.
Absolutely.
Gosh, I met him. He was one of our first when the show began many, many years ago. He was one of the first, Steve Porter.
Yes.
And he's a great author, too. I want to remind you about Paula over here. She once worked at an archaeological dig, which is described in Dead Drop. Spies. She was a card-carrying member of the Association of Former Intelligence Officers in Paris, Key West. And you do fencing?
No, my husband did.
He did it.
I can follow it very well. We used to go all over the country going to fencing matches. We even went to Germany for one.
Now, you went because of his work?
Yes, it was his hobby.
And that was his hobby.
He ran the Boston Fencing Club for a number of
And
years.
he's the one who encouraged you to get busy and write.
Absolutely.
What did you think?
I did it. We used to go out to dinner, mostly in Key West, and we'd sit in a restaurant and talk about ways to kill people.
What?
Well, you got to get your plot somewhere.
Oh my God! And so you both were coming up with ideas.
Yeah, and after I wrote Dead Drop, after I wrote the first draft, we went to Paris. This was before you could take videos or anything with your phone. Yeah. And we visited every place where there was a scene in the book. Yeah. There is a big scene that takes place around Versailles. And he and I spent a whole afternoon there once walking through the best way to make this scene work. It was one of the funnest days I ever had.
Yeah, did you take notes on the way? Like, right, or would they all appear?
I had a handheld tape recorder.
Okay.
That was high tech back in the mid-'90s. Yeah.
That's how I don't think I've met an author yet who actually went to the places and actually researched them in person.
Oh, it's so much fun.
That
We also got mugged on that trip, and
You got mugged?
I used the mugging scene in the book as well.
In Paris, right?
In
You
the
got
metro.
both of you were walking along,
Yeah.
and you got mugged
Mm-hmm.
from behind, I assume.
Yeah.
What did your husband? Who?
The guy had a very small knife.
Ah,
And Jack was a fencer.
Did he go into you,
He
or-
knew how. No, he grabbed Jack and said, "Donny Wallersock." And Jack knew how to parry with him,
Yeah.
so that he couldn't get him. And he screamed at me to run for help,
sure.
which I did, and I got 3 undercover cops when I got upstairs to the platform. And the guy got nothing off us. Jack parried him off.
Parried. Now Jack wasn't carrying a weapon.
No, but he knew how to position himself.
Duck, duck, duck.
So that he couldn't get touched. Or
I bet that really made that guy mad.
a couple of hours later, we were drinking scotch and trying to calm down, and he turned to me and he said, "What does Donny Wallersock mean?" That's the only complete sentence he
Yeah.
could ever say in French.
Give me your
Give me
wallet.
the bag.
Give me, yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. You knew. Thank God you could translate it.
Yeah, so...
Did you and Jack meet in Abington in high school?
No, we met at the wedding where his brother married my sister.
Oh, okay.
And 25 years later, we got married.
So how did you get back together after? Was it you saw
We saw each other off and on for 25
for
years.
25 years?
Yeah, it took us a long time.
That's pretty cool, though, when you think about it. I mean, not many couples last that long dating.
Yeah.
Marriage is one thing, but dating, you're young. You
Well, I mean, there was at least one entire year there where I wouldn't speak to him.
yeah. Oh,
But we got over it.
we're talking with Paula Norton, PK Norton, and she's got these books, and she's got copies of 2 of them downstairs, right? She's got this one, Dead Drop, okay, and Sweet Dreams, Sweet Death. This
Don't you
is-
love my covers?
Oh, yeah. Who did these?
I told the publishers what I wanted, and they came up with them. Steve Porter did that one,
Okay.
and he did the Deep Secrets.
That's good. And, I tell a lot of my authors, and they self-publish, I said, the beauty of, well, you know Steve, he's a great guy, and he did a great job on this, but not all places do.
Steve's fabulous.
Yeah, he is. But if you're self-publishing, you not only get to do your own covers, but basically, you're a lot freer to get out there and do things.
I was at the New England Crime Bake
Yeah.
one November.
Oh, I think you must know Glenn Ickler from Hopedale, Mass.
I know the name. Yeah.
Older gentleman. He writes all these mysteries from Minnesota.
This one particular year, this is the annual convention of Sisters in Crime, and everybody I talked to there that year had dropped the traditional publishers.
Yes.
They were going with small indies like Steve Porter
Or they're going
or
self-published.
Self.
Yeah.
And it was for 2 things. Part of it was they had more control,
Yes.
and part of it was you get more royalties.
Sure.
And the other thing is print on demand.
Yeah.
I think is the most
that the-
intelligent thing that was ever done.
Did that replace, what's that thing they used to do?
Offset.
No, there was another one. You could just go online and order as many as you want. What was it? They say it's not there anymore.
I don't know.
Oh.
But print on demand, if somebody orders a book and pays for it, they print it.
You know how much per book?
Well, you ask whatever you want for the book. And they send you a percentage of the
what?
sale price.
Now they don't get anything from all you sell, but just the initial ordering books they do.
No, if you are through Amazon,
Yeah.
or actually I'm going through Stillwater, I get a percentage of the sale on every book, and the publisher gets the other.
Now, was that your first expo in Rhode Island?
Yes, it was.
Now, when I walked in, you were inside. You weren't right at the beginning.
No.
No. I remember going down, and finally I just said, I was so overwhelmed. I said, I can't keep going, because I am the type, I feel very badly if I walk by anybody's, because I know they're sitting there waiting.
And you
I
don't
know-
want to make eye contact because it's uncomfortable.
Well, it's very difficult, and I tell my authors when they go to expos, make sure you have some sort of sign, design, that catches the customer's instinct. You look at them, have business cards of your own, but get theirs if they have, or have their information.
Yeah.
Even if you don't sell a book.
Yeah.
Schmooze with people.
And I was lucky. I was the second one in
Yeah.
on a row.
Yeah, you were. I don't know if I'd want to. Well, you think the best place is the first one on the right, or?
Well, I get claustrophobic. I didn't want to be in
Yeah,
the
you're
middle
way
of
in the-
anything.
you're way in the
But
downside.
the expo was fun.
It was. It's a huge place. It's on Rhodes on the Pawtucket, which is a big mansion.
It's a huge venue.
Yeah, very, very
For
big.
weddings or
When we drove
whatever.
down from Upton, down to Cranston, and I'm not the greatest traveler, so it kind of seemed a lot quicker going home. That old saying.
Yeah.
Again,
Always
Paula,
is.
how can they get your books?
The easiest way is to go on Amazon and type in Amy Lynch, and there they'll be. I also have a website, which is www.pknorton.com, and you can get to my books from there as well.
Also, downstairs in the Upton Library, at the dedicated authors wall, you just went down. You
I
met
did.
the ladies down there. They're terrific, and you can find her books down there too. Now, there's another one coming. You just talked about it. When will that be out?
Probably August.
Okay.
Yeah.
August for the Deep Secrets.
Yes.
But then there's one.
And then, well, I'm just doing the first major edit on direct elimination. So it'll take a while.
Okay.
Probably another year.
You tend to do it. You're fast though. Every year, maybe once a year. I like that. That's really good. Do you do it mostly at night? Do you find the time to do it, or what?
I do it in spurts.
You do it in yeah.
I have a critique group I get together with, so that keeps me writing. And they also keep me honest. Well,
Okay, that's good.
it's fiction.
Yeah.
And my first draft, I make the story do what I want it to do. And then they read it and they sit down and they say, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah. They say, yeah.
So they keep me grounded in reality, even when I don't want to hear it.
Did you say a tea group?
Critique.
A critique, writer's critique book?
Yes,
And that meets in, where do they meet?
in my dining room.
In Easton?
Yeah,
How many come?
there are 5 of us right now. There are several authors' critique groups around. The South Shore writers have about 25 members. There are several of them around.
We've got them up in the Worcester area here, Sutton. There.
A critique group is really good because you get knowledgeable feedback,
Yeah.
and it is told to you kindly.
Yeah, definitely. They're not out to get you.
No, but they make me write within the realms of reality.
And are you all different genres of story?
Yes.
That makes it even more fun.
Oh, it's a blast.
You don't feel like, hey, you, that's my line.
Exactly.
Where do you like to be the most? Do you like to be in a, I don't know, do you like to write on your own or go to the beach? Or what do you like?
I need to be all by myself to write.
You do?
Yeah.
You come up with an idea in the car, do you have a piece of paper?
I have paper everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Because my handheld recorder died. When I have a trouble with the plot, if I'm stuck on something, I take a walk.
Yeah.
I learned this from Ernest Hemingway.
Oh, yeah.
You define the problem and then put it out of your mind and take a walk.
And it works.
It does.
Now, you were in insurance. That's quite a jump from insurance to writing stories.
Yeah. But she's an insurance
Yeah,
investigator.
She's an investigator. Do you see yourself? Do you see her as you?
In some ways. She gets away with a lot more than I ever could.
Yeah.
And she has curlier hair than I do. And she doesn't get old.
Old! Get out of here.
Oh, Amy's in her 30s, and
Yep.
she always will be.
She always will be.
And she's a bit of a technophobe because I don't want to have to keep up with technology when I'm writing.
I don't think you're the only one.
Sue Grafton had it nailed. Everything takes place in the 80s.
And then what does she do? All the alphabet N is for da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, she passed away after she did Y. So
She
the
died?
alphabet now ends with Y. Yeah, she died last year.
I had no idea.
And actually, a friend of mine read Y is for whatever and said to me, I think she wasn't feeling so well when she wrote it. It's not her best book.
It wasn't.
No.
No.
But she was one talented woman.
So being in that writers group, I think they're out here, but for people who are watching, this goes everywhere. You show it in Easton. I'm sure you have cable television over there.
Uh-huh.
How would they reach you if they'd like to come to your writers group?
Email me,
What's your email?
pknorton9@aol.com.
When do you meet?
We meet 2 Mondays a month at 4 in the afternoon.
At 4? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if a girl's working 2 Mondays, do you have an alternate time?
Actually, no. One of us is working, but she teaches school about a mile from my house.
And you said you taught
I taught high school in Abington for 10 years.
10 years, and you taught what was your subject?
French.
Oh, that's right. She speaks French.
Je parle français.
I remember my French teacher, my first one for the first 3 years. She was a dynamo. She got us pen pals over in France.
That's fun.
So they could speak to me in English, and I could try to write to them in French. And then my high school, he was very strict, the high school one. I had no problem speaking it. It was the part of conjugating and all the different, that was tricky for me.
Yeah, well, you know, the purpose of any language is communication.
Yeah.
If your verb conjugations are not perfect, but everybody knows what you mean,
Yeah.
I think you're okay. I knew a woman in Paris who was not French. I think she was Portuguese. And she never conjugated a verb. She just spoke in infinitives.
She didn't do the je te, il.
No, she said, demain, je, and then infinitive. Tomorrow I, to go. Everybody knew what she meant. It's
I remember
okay.
in school learning, you'd learn phrases in case you went over to visit. Où est la salle de bain? Where's the
And that's
bathroom?
actually not what they say. They call it la toilette.
Okay, salle de bain was what
It's
I
where you go to
learned.
take a bath.
Oh, okay, so I should say, if I go, toilette.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you wanted to say shut your mouth, it was fermez votre bouche, right?
And it's actually taisez-vous, is what they
So-
say.
It sounds like it's been shortened.
What you got was literal translations
Strict
from the
Parisian
English.
Oh, okay, all right. Nobody else in my family could speak French, but because I took it college prep in high school. So 10 years and
Yeah. I taught at Abington High when the serial killer Gary Sampson was a student there.
did you meet him?
I was afraid of him.
Oh my God.
He didn't take French.
Oh, girl. I had forgotten all about that.
Yeah.
Gutsy lady. Well, we're going to close for now, but again, PK, Paula Norton, author of Sweet Dreams, Sweet Death. This is an Amy Lynch Investigations, okay? Same as with her other books. Dead Drop, Amy Lynch Investigation, and coming soon to a theater near you. Deep Secrets. And again, this
Just
is
Google Amy Lynch.
Amy Lynch. Go downstairs to the Upton Library. And if you're watching out in Easton, she's got a writers group going. Might want to speak to her about that. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.